Today I was looking back through all my old videos and I realized I wear one of 3 shirts in all of them. So I decided to change it up today. If you didn't know, this is where I work on campus. It's the Student Disability Center. But the shirt also makes a great transition into my video today. We're doing the YouTube thing. We figured it out. This is how. But the shirt does make a good transition because I was at work today, and around this time we have a lot of appointments for incoming freshmen to get the accommodations that they need, but it made me realize something. Today, like exactly today that I'm filming this, on June 27th, I went to orientation 3 years ago, which if that doesn't hit me in the nostalgia, I don't know what does. It made me think back of all the times that I had freshman year, and God, do I want to forget them, but they're there now. And it also made me think of all the things that I wish I knew when I was a freshman that I know now, as a wise senior here. So today I compiled a lovely list of 10 things that I wish I knew when I was a freshman, and I thought I'd share it with you, in case you are an incoming freshman, or if you're a senior like me and you still don't have your life together, because I don't by any means of the imagination. So without further ado, I think we're just gonna jump right in. The first one being that your friends will change. Now I know this is such an obvious point, like of course your friends will change because some people come into your life and come out of your life, but I know when I first came up here for orientation in the first couple of weeks of school, I thought like, oh, these people that I'm gonna meet in these first couple of weeks are the friends that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life because it's college, like you meet your best friends, you get that friend group, and I thought that was gonna happen right away. And while that is true that some of those people that you'll meet within the first weeks become some of your greatest friends, some of those friends will change. I know the friends that I had freshman and sophomore year drastically changed into friends that I have now and probably will keep on having throughout this last year of college. So don't be afraid to get out there and maybe join a club or two to meet those people who have those like interests and connections to really solidify that little group that you have that can carry with you as long as they can. The next point, which I did check most of these points with my friends who are around my grade level, and this one was one of the biggest that they said, which is go into office hours. I know it sounds stupid and it sounds like, oh, I don't need that, because I definitely thought that when I was a freshman, but if you go into the office hours and just say, I need help or I don't understand this concept or anything like that, they are definitely more than willing to help you if you need it. Now, kind of streaming along with the theme of teachers, the next point is that they do care if you fail. I know there's a big stigma, especially in high school, that oh, college professors don't care, all they do is take attendance and they just teach, they let you go on your own to be an adult and advocate for yourself, but they really do care if you're not doing good in their class. If you go in and get that help, or if you just say like, hey, I'm failing your class, I really don't understand this, they will help you and try to figure out a way or give you resources that can help you not fail that class. Now, of course, this being 10 tips I wish I knew as a freshman, a lot of them are gonna be class oriented. So the next one is if you want to get that help and of course be present in class, you have to show up. I know a lot of the time during freshman year, I was in the mindset of, oh, well, no one's really holding me in this class, like I don't have to go. So I didn't. And although I didn't make it a habit, I didn't go, especially the days when I should have. And I really got stuck in that rut of, oh, I won't go today, I'll go tomorrow, and oh, I won't go the next day, and oh, maybe not this day because we're not doing anything important. And if you let that build up, it's gonna get to the point where you don't feel like going to class at all. And I know I definitely was there. Luckily, I stopped it. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I promise I'm a good student, go to class, do my homework, all that jazz. So outside of class, I know I'll get home after a long day of classes and work and just want to sit and do nothing, watch TV, watch Netflix. But the next tip is do your homework. I know in some of my classes, if I show up and I've done the homework and I understand the homework, I'm way more present and focused in class, which helps me participate or get those points if we have like a quiz or participation grade or anything like that. To where on the opposite end, if I didn't do my homework or if I was like, oh, I don't need to read that chapter, which, I know we do that a lot, but it really does hurt your understanding of the topic and you're sort of playing catch up with everyone else who has done that reading or who has done that homework. So as much as you can try, I suggest you do the homework. Okay, last little school tip before we get into like the whole college life tip, because I know that's hard too, is get a planner. I know, let's see if I can find mine real quick. I got this big planner right here. At Barnes & Noble, which, little tip, if you go like the second week of January to Barnes & Noble, these are like 50% off. I got all this for like $8, so definitely a little tip. And I know what some of you are thinking, I never use a planner, I never write in it, I never need it because I just write down all my homework like on a piece of paper or something. But even if you use this just once, I think it really helps. Now, as you know from previous videos, I am very type A, which means I use this like it's the Bible. I go through every Sunday usually, and I look through all my syllabi and I see what's coming up and I write it down on the day that I want to get it done. And I think that's a really big tip. Now, I know some people see these as just a long to-do list of things that you need to get done right now and like today, but I think the biggest tip that I can give you is break it down day by day. If you don't feel like doing something this day and you can, push it back to another day. Limit yourself to only a couple things a day and it will really help. I know when I don't write in my planner one week, if I'm just not feeling it or if I forget, I pile all the things in my brain and I'm just like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. What if I did this today? And oh, maybe I can push that back to tomorrow. And it really just builds up to a point where I don't want to do anything, and I don't. So I highly suggest getting a planner, using it at least once. If you don't like it, you know, throw it away, do whatever you want with it, give it to a friend, give it to me, send it to me. Okay, so now stepping away from the class aspect of college, I want to get into the more personal aspects or tips that I wish I knew when I was a freshman. The first one being is that we should all learn to cook. I know it's different if you're in a dorm because you don't have to cook for yourself or you don't have to cook for yourself as much, but if you can get into the habit of cooking for yourself or at least looking up recipes or even looking up some of your favorite meals and seeing how they're made will really help you once you do get out of the dorm life and into an apartment or a house. Because I know at the start of this year, this was my first year living outside of the dorms, and I know for like the first month or two I was only cooking like mac and cheese, pasta, microwavable meals, which wasn't bad because of course I was on the go and I was going to classes and work, but it wasn't that healthy for me. And I think to really have that whole balance, you need to cook for yourself. I also think cooking for yourself is a really valuable skill for after college, because if you're not living with your parents or when you do move out of your parents' house, it's a good skill to have so you can actually cook more than mac and cheese or microwavable meals. Okay, time for the cliche one. We're gonna get it out, we're gonna get it emotional, it's gonna be great. It's call your parents. I know that is the most cliche and like emotional thing to say, but really it helps so much. For me, the first couple of months, I didn't want to call my parents. I love them to pieces, but I just love the freedom that you get when you come to college and you just have so much going on, you have so many people around you. And although I was lucky to have my parents just an hour and a half down in Aurora, it was still really nice to call them and get updates about like family life or my dog or anything like that. So definitely call your parents, let them know that you're alive, let them know that you're doing great, and I promise it'll make you feel like you're more at home. Whether home is so far away or if it's just 10 minutes away, I promise it'll help. One of the last ones that I wrote down, which I actually didn't do until this year, is make a budget for yourself. I know for some of us when we get to college, it's the first time that we're living alone and that we're spending our own money and that we're doing all this stuff independently. So I think a budget really helps, because the past couple of years, whenever a friend was like, hey, do you want to go out and get ice cream or food or drinks or anything, I'd be like, yeah, for sure, like I just got paid a couple days ago, it's fine. But those little times of me going out or spending that extra $1 or $2 at Target or buying that pint of ice cream at King Soopers really started to add up to the point where I was spending way too much during those 2 weeks where I didn't get paid. Now, I'm not saying you have to have this really long budget that outlines every single cent that you're gonna spend in a month, because I know it varies every month of what you're gonna spend, what you're gonna spend it on, how much. But if you can just get a broad list of what you're gonna spend, or even a list of your fixed expenses, it really helps, and it really helped me this year when I created it. So that's definitely a big tip, create a budget for yourself. Alright, the very last tip that I have, which I think is the most important, but also the most abstract, is advocate for yourself. If you're not doing well in a class, or if you feel like something isn't going right, speak up and say something. Go into a teacher or go into someone that you trust and say what's going on and say what's happening in your life and see if that person can help you make a difference in that aspect of your life. I know working at the Student Disability Center, I've seen countless people, including me, come in saying that one thing or another isn't going right in their classes or in their dorms, and so many of the resources at CSU, including the Student Disability Center, are there to help you. They're there to help you advocate for yourself while advocating for you. Whether it's getting accommodations or whether it's just helping out if you're struggling with something, advocate for yourself and speak up if you feel that something is wrong. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed these wise words from, the greatest resource alive. But I really hope these help you if you are an incoming freshman, or if you're thinking about coming to CSU, or even if you're a student now. I know I didn't implement some of these tips until long into my college career, but once I did, it really helped me get my life more on track. Still not fully on track, but we're slowly getting there. But if you have any more tips, definitely let me know down in the comments if you can find anything more that helped you, or more tips that can help other students coming in or who are currently here. Alright, I think I'm done being nostalgic for today, because I don't really like thinking about my freshman year, but I will see you soon, Rams.